What's up, guys? My name is Matt, and today, November 17th, 2014, Bungie dropped patch 1.0.3. And I tell you what, this patch is huge. If you haven't downloaded it yet, it's 2.55 gigabytes. Huge, huge patch. And honestly, I wanted to get some in-game footage for this, but the problem is that I just got off work, and the patch is 2.55 gigabytes, and I have to get a video made, so I'm going to improvise. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the patch. I'm going to go over briefly each section and kind of my thoughts about the things. If you guys want to read the full patch notes, I'll link it in the description. I also have images of the actual thing that I'm going to put on the screen and maybe put it in the corner and put some footage in the background. I don't know what I'm going to do. We'll see when I go to edit this. Alright, on the first part, they said that this patch, the Destiny dev team said this is the one about the Iron Banner voice, but trust me, it's a lot more than that. They said this is the first in a series of updates, which means there's going to be multiple of these. That's oh my god, of updates that will deliver new content and lead into the Dark Below. That's the DLC if you guys aren't staying up to date, but there you go. Update 1.0.3 provides new social features, revisions to activities, alterations to competitive spaces, adjustments to player overall experience, as well as a sizable download of new content and geometry to support the first expansion of the World of Destiny. The Iron Banner special event is also being updated with new rules and features prior to its second run. By the way, that second run is tomorrow. So the first section they talked about was voice. Now, if you didn't read about this, it's very simple. They added the new voice feature. There's a fire team chat and a team chat. There's a whole thing on the patch notes. Go read on it. Just thought I'd let you know. It's very simple. You toggle between the two with left and right in the D-pad with your ghost out. Again, you can go to there and read it. Click the extra article specifically about it. The next thing they talked about was classes. They fixed a few things. They fixed an issue with two players who performed a melee launch simultaneously would teleport through each other. I never experienced that, but apparently it was a problem, so they fixed it. They also fixed an issue with Blink Strike, where the collision actually caused damage instead of the melee attack itself. And they also fixed an issue with Warlock bonds being dismantled into Titan materials. And I'm a Warlock, and somehow I never noticed that. So I'm glad they fixed those things, but I didn't know they were problems. The next part, they went into weapons. In the weapons, they reduced the camera shake when hit with explosive rounds. Again, never really dealt with that problem, but apparently it was an issue, so that got fixed. And they removed Clown Cartridge from shotguns and changed it to a different perk on the weapon, as well as they fixed or did something with the perk called Headseeker, which the bonus precision damage never got applied, but now it does. So there's a change to that. Next one is activities. For missions, they fixed an exploit in the Buried City that I did not know about, where you could clear all the enemies in Clovis Bray. Did not know about it, but apparently that was a thing. Also, it seems as though as they probably nerfed one or both of our cheese spots on the Winter's Run. That is the Archon Priest. So I'm assuming that Nightfall is now going to be a bitch. But they did, in fact, nerf an exploit zone in the boss encounter. And they also made it to where strikes in general, it's a lot easier as a 3-man fire team. They're not as deadly. And they also changed an issue at the end of like Heroics where you would get your engrams and they wouldn't display properly. They fixed that as well. Next spot is the Iron Banner. That, again, if you're not aware, that starts again tomorrow. There's a whole bunch of changes. I'm not going to go through them all. There's a whole article on it in the patch notes. Again, that link's in the description. But there's so many changes, and I talked about them previously in a video. But they probably changed a few things. Roughly, you have to be level 20 as the fire team leader to go in. You have to have a fire team leader of level 20 to bring someone below level 20, although it's not advised anymore. They have 5 reputation ratings instead of 3. They added the temper buff and reforging. Again, there's a giant list. You can actually click on it. Now, there's another problem that I didn't know about it, and it's with cinematics. Apparently, in foreign languages, the subtitles didn't line up properly, so apparently that got fixed again. Never had that problem. Didn't know about that problem. But it got fixed. The next thing they talk about destinations, mainly certain areas. Apparently the Vex Cyclops and Hive Shriekers health bars didn't update properly. Again, I wasn't aware of it, but I haven't killed too many Cyclops or Shriekers outside of the missions. So those are now fixed. And they also reduced the number of stealth sword vandals in the spawn of the basement of the Terrestrial Complex on lower difficulties. Again, off the top of my head, I don't know where the Terrestrial Complex is, what mission that is, but apparently there's less stealth sword vandals. Now, the big thing in the destination is that public events will now occur 10 to 15% more frequently in all spaces. Now, I don't know what percentage, what that actually makes it. Does that make it to where something that would occur 30 minutes now occurs in 27? I don't know. Or is it just more common for them to occur on their normal time scale? Like, you go to an area and it's supposed to happen, but it didn't, so now you have a better chance. I like that. Public events are now easier to get to and have more frequently, so I like that. The next section is pretty big. They changed a lot about the vendors. A lot. If you weren't aware, if you haven't played Destiny today or yesterday, now I'm assuming that you're watching this on Tuesday because it won't be uploaded till then. But now we have 10 bounty slots. I said that was coming in the dark below, but they go ahead and put it in now. So now we have 10 bounty slots, which I really like. There's new shaders that you can get from the shader seller later in the stock in the tower. So go check those out. And maybe if there's something interesting, I might do a video on it. Probably not. They added the ability to preview shaders and emblems before purchasing them, which is really cool. I like that. They said that marks and reputation icons and meters were adjusted to better differentiate the two. I don't know what that means either, but it's something visually for vendors. They fixed an issue with strange coins and motes of light would not route to the postmaster if your inventory was full. Did not know about that, didn't know it was a problem. Then again, I don't farm a lot of strange coins and motes of light, but that is now fixed. It will be in the postmaster from now on. So if you had that issue, it's now in the postmaster. Don't worry. They also fixed an issue in which engrams were not displaying the possible contents in the Cryptarch vendor menu. Again, I thought that wasn't a problem, but apparently it was, so yay for fixes. Didn't know that was a problem either, but they fixed it. They also fixed an issue in which players did not receive bounty or mission credit when assisting in the Walker or Vex Cyclops kills. Now, I knew about that one, but if you weren't aware, when you got the kill 3 Fallen Walkers or kill, I'm assuming 3 Vex Cyclops, I've never seen that bounty before, but apparently that's a bounty. If you didn't get the killing blow, it didn't count. I guess they fixed that, which is good because that was irritating as fuck when that bounty came around. Now, the coolest thing, and I haven't had a chance to look at this again because the download is so big and I'm still downloading it currently while recording this, is that the armor stat upgrade potential is added to item compare and the vendor, meaning I'm assuming that means that once it's fully upgraded, you can compare the two at fully upgraded and which one will be better in the long run opposed to its current stats, which is nice. Now, the next section is ginormous. Ginormous. You probably can't even read it on the screen. I had to zoom out to like 40% to get this screenshot of it. There's a huge number of changes in PvP, from just general fixing reviving problems and new preformed fire teams against each other. So instead of now, it's either going to be, they're going to slowly roll this out, but all players over time, but we'll start with 3v3 players. So basically, if fire teams of 2 or more players will be matched together more frequently. In 6v6 game, fire teams of 4 or more players will be matched together more frequently. So there's no more pre-mains versus a bunch of solo motherfuckers in that. I like that. There's also some join in progress things changes. They changed some medals and made those stop bugging out. I guess they work now. You can read it all. They changed a bunch of things on maps. They changed some things on First Light, Blind Watch, Firebase Delphi, Rusted Land, Shores of Time, Exodus Blue, and Twilight Gap. They added geometry, they added things, they got rid of exploits that I didn't even know about. You can go read it. Again, like I said, it's huge. I'm not going to go over the whole thing because I don't want to waste your time. They changed some things in the HUD. They improved the readability of grenade and melee recharge states, which, again, I didn't really have a problem with, but apparently it's now better. They improved the visibility of objectives in the motion tracker. They improved visual look of Revive Waypoint and Last Man Standing. I'm assuming that's probably something to do with strikes. They added skull modifier descriptions to the navigation mode screen, which is good. Now we know what those skull modifiers actually mean if you didn't already know. So that'll help a lot of players. Me personally, I've learned what they meant, and I can just look and say, oh, okay, that's juggler. Oh, okay, that's epic. But some people didn't know that. And then I guess they fixed an issue in which down teammates did not always display on screen. Again, didn't know that was a problem, but apparently it was. They fixed it. And then they talked about some things with Orbit. The Destiny version number now appears in the character login screen, so we'll know if there's a patch, even if you didn't go to the website and see that. They added some dialogue imagery for various events. They fixed an issue with new items available from the special order vendors will not show up in the message count in the director. I don't know what that means, but apparently they fixed it. There was a PlayStation Plus dialogue that was mistakenly shown when selecting a specific PvP activity. Again, Xbox player didn't know about that, but it's fixed. They added countdown timers to weekly and special events. That's good. Fixed various issues with director animations. Again, don't know what that means, but they fixed it. They fixed an issue where player and inventory screen would sometimes close during certain parts of the spaceflight sequence. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was annoying as shit when you're trying to change your stuff and like it just closes on you. It's no longer a problem. Thank you. And they added a post-game carnage report for previous games during matchmaking search. I don't know what that means, but that seems cool. Just some extra information so you know what's going on. They changed some things in the menus. They fixed an issue with the cursor speed in a 4.3 and PAL was not consistent. Again, I have HDMI and running HD and all that stuff, and I'm not foreign, so I'm not running. I'm running HD. I don't have a problem with those things. The roster, the network connection quality indicators have now been added to the roster, so you can tell if someone's having connection issues to you. There's new icons added to the scoreboard and roster to indicate voice problems due to connection issues. That's good. So now with the new voice thing, you'll know if it's a NAT issue or if it's just a connection issue or you're just stupid and muted your mic. And then they added support for direct Fireteam joins from the roster on Xbox One. I didn't know that was a problem on the Xbox One. I don't frequently play on the Xbox One. It's usually on the off days when I'm not recording things and whatnot. But that's fixed as well if you had that problem. They updated the inventory as well. They made Spin Metal, Relic-Ion, Helium Filaments, and Spirit Bloom. They all look pretty now. They look a lot different. I saw images of those, and I like the way that they're just minor changes. They fixed and updated several inventory icons and fixed some talent tree icons. So apparently those are just some visual changes to make the game more pretty, which I guess is okay to add in the patch. And then there's some audio and technical things, improved audio cues for sticking others or being stuck in certain grenades. That actually would helpful in PvP, so you know if you stuck them or not. Fixed an issue in which an audio cue would not play when completing a bounty. Apparently there's supposed to be an audio cue for when you finish a bounty. Didn't know that. Now it is something. Maybe they just added it. It was probably something that was supposed to be in the game but never was, but now it is. Oh my god, hiccups. And then they fixed an issue in which the Guardian Down referenced the wrong gender in French, Spanish, and Portuguese. That's kind of funny to me. Again, doesn't affect me. I speak English. You all, I'm presumably at least know English. But apparently it was a problem in French, Spanish, and Portuguese. So that's now fixed. Now men are men and women are women. It's good. Then they added some technical things, some stability issues, rare crashes during flight, improved patched installation process, which is probably good. Now I guess things patch properly now. And then they implemented a PS3 specific performance optimization and some issues with the Beetle and Lionfish kicks to orbit, as well as the ability to add Bungie DLC, ability for the Bungie DLC. If you don't know what that is their, I guess, giant screen thing that they have. That's that team that looks at things and sees all things. They can send in-game alerts and messages, which means they might be able to add like events and say, hey, go here because that event is there. Or they can now send us messages publicly to everyone, which is really cool. But that is everything the patch. This took me 14 minutes to cover everything, and I tried to cover everything incredibly quickly for you guys to not waste your time. Let me know what you think about this patch. It's huge, tons of changes. I really like all the changes. It's good. It's nothing that I've suggested in here. Bungie showed up, but whatever. I don't think. Maybe they'll do it in the next patch. Who knows? I doubt it. But let me know what you guys think about this patch. I think it's really cool. I think there's a lot of changes that really I didn't know about, but I get that the fact that they knew about them themselves and fixed all these things. It was a huge patch notes. Go check it out. Read the whole thing. There's 2 articles, one on the Iron Banner, one on the Voice. If you're confused on how it works, but it's pretty straightforward from what I've looked at. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you're new here and you like daily Destiny content, patch news, guides, speedrunning. That's right, I started speedrunning. If you didn't watch yesterday's video, please go watch it. But all sorts of things. If you're new here, click that subscribe. If you're not new here, leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Also, if you're new here or you're not and you haven't done it yet, there's a link in the description. It's always been there to the stream. Click that follow button. Come watch us Thursday through Sunday around 3. Oh my god, I butchered my outro. Oh my god. If you're new here or not new here, I'm going to try this again. If you're new here or not new here, If you didn't know about it, there's a link to the stream. Come watch us Thursday through Sunday, 11:30 p.m. to around 3 or 4 a.m. Central Standard Time. We'll be back full swing with the stream coming this week, so look out for that if you haven't. But I'm going to stop talking. I've wasted 15 and a half minutes of your guys' time, or maybe I didn't waste it, but I keep talking. So until next time, guys, see ya.
Celebration.